Hey guys, how you guys doing? Valky here, and I hope this video finds you on a smooth climb towards your goal this season. If your climb is not going as smooth as you would have liked, worry not. I'm here to give you some tips, both in and out of the game, that's going to help you reach that goal this season. Seeing as how we have about a week left in Season 11, I wanted to part with our first, second, third, maybe even fourth time climbers, a few words that might be helpful on their upwards ascent. At the end of every season, I try to pull up with a few in and out of game tips just to help our prospective climbers succeed, and these are my tips to Season 11. So, I don't think anyone was surprised by how dominating Landy is. The game with and without her are two completely different ballparks, and I mean, she literally is a unit you cannot hard crowd control, you cannot burst down due to the anti-crit, or even burst down her supporting cast as she provides a layer of passive anti-crit. It's no wonder that even across E7WC, the absolute highest level, the pinnacle of RTA, she maintains a 50% win rate or better across every single matchup. If you don't have her on a build that you can be confident in, she should be one of the easiest pre-bans for you. Just take her out and you never have to worry about her. But if you are playing with her, you better have a few competent counter picks prepared for her, as, well, you're not getting first pick every game, buddy. And as I mentioned earlier, there are only two units that do not have a losing matchups versus her, and those two units are Lionheart Sirmia and Last Rider Crow. The data is collected by my buddy Kami across the entirety of E7WC, and I'll link his stream in the description if you want to pop in, say hi, and maybe ask him some questions. But in accordance to his data, there are only two units that go 50-50 versus Navy Captain Landy, and up to a 70-30 if they're played together. And you definitely want to think about how you control these units going into her, which means if I'm playing against Landy, I'm going to be trying my hardest to pick up both of these units, and if I'm playing with Landy, I will be trying to steal one of these units as to not let my opponent have both of them. One exception here is Lone Crescent Melona, mainly just because Winter Wish made her look like such a superstar in E7WC, and he was winning every game versus Landy. But I just want to point out, Winter Wish has one of the most well-built Melonas in Global, so if you're expecting your Melona to be doing that, don't. Rely on more traditional statistical means like that Lionheart Sirmia, Last Rider Crow, although Melona does have a pretty good matchup versus Landy. And I think the biggest problem with Landy is that since she's so random, you never really know how the matches will play out. So even if you have a consistent counter pick, like that combo I was talking about earlier, you're still only winning 70% of your game. So if you're the type of person that really values consistency and you really hate this casino meta, banning her outright might not be such a bad idea, because I know there are legend players who can play her and they have no problems playing slow, but they're just going to not play with her because she's so random, especially to save yourself that headache when it comes to crunch time on the last 48 hours of the game. I cannot emphasize this enough, especially if it's your first time climbing. Start a habit of logging and screenshotting your matches. Do it in a private Discord channel, or do it in some type of logbook of your own preference. If you're in the lower ranks climbing up for the first time, this is going to give you a treasure trove of data to study from, especially from the losses. Usually wins can stem from your opponents just not knowing how to play the game, but losses will always contain valuable information on how you might have misdrafted or how you could have misplayed. Of course, RNG loss will always be there, and we wanted to do... you're going to lose some of these games no matter what, even if you draft perfectly. And if you're experienced enough, you can see that, exactly how some of these drafts went wrong. But we always want to do the best we can to influence our game to as little misplays as possible. Now, if you're climbing for Emperor or especially Legend, saving logs become invaluable, as last day you'll be playing against the same like 200-ish people in your MMR range all the time. And if you're trying to get that juicy frame, You'd want every competitive advantage if possible. Saving logs gives you all sorts of information, such as, where do your pre-bans overlap? What strategy does your opponent play? And how can I pull a fast one on him and get that just small edge? So in the example shown earlier, I overlap a Lua ban with my opponent. So this gives me the information that if I match into him again, and I have first pick again, I can leave out Lua to be banned by my opponent and just target out his Lionheart Sirmia. And not only am I already winning, it leaves him in a position where there is absolutely no way he can beat me, because he would lose one of the best units to beat my first pick. While, during the season, you can make the argument, oh, target banning is kind of cringe or whatever, right? But when it comes to game time, when it comes to time to finish our ranks, get those games, I play to win. Now, this is gonna sound really stupid and redundant, but guys, make sure you're taking care of yourselves, okay? A lot of people are gunning for Legend, and even Emperor. They're going to be taking a little bit of time of school or even work just to get those games in last week, especially those last 2 days where so many games are going down. And if you're one of these guys, remember, take every competitive advantage that you can. And that includes making sure you get some good sleep, getting hydrated and staying well fed throughout the day, and getting some small calisthenics exercises like push-ups or squats to keep your blood pumping and keep the blood flowing through your brain. And even if that's not what you're normally about, being all healthy and all, and trust me, I'm a gamer. During times like this, you really want to make sure your brain is firing on all cylinders if you have all the processing power available to you. I'm not really a health conscious person, but if I'm grinding for ranks last week, you can bet that when you're doing all 3 of these things right, it feels like you're overclocking your brain, and sometimes that's all you really need just to squeak out one pick that you might not have normally thought of. And sometimes all you need is that little push to come out with 1 or 2 more wins than you normally would. And do those 1 to 2 wins really matter? Some people would ask. Well, considering that during both my Legend finishes, and both times I was ranked 99 and 100 respectively, well, you tell me if those 1 to 2 wins really matter. And that's really all the tips I got for you guys this season. These aren't meant to be super loaded videos. They're just meant to be little tips to get you started. If you guys have any questions about RTA, I think this week in particular, I'll probably be more active in the Discord, as I do have to make my own push as well. So I'll be hanging around there to answer most of the questions. Good luck on your guys' ranked quests, and I hope to see a few more people with the skin and frames this season. And that'll be it from me for this video. If the information was helpful, you can always help back by giving it a like and subscribe, and maybe some comments as well. I really appreciate that. As a small content creator, I can't be thankful enough for our great community, for what you guys do to support the channel, as recently we've hit 10K subscribers in our community. I never thought I would get here, since I really just started this channel to show some fun and maybe informative RTA content, as when I started playing RTA, I felt like that's what the community needed. It's been an absolute ride, so if you have any suggestions for a 10K subscriber special, because I really want to make it special to YouTube since I'll be doing something different on Twitch, we can talk about it in the comments as well. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day or night, wherever you guys are, and stay safe out there. See ya.